Module 1 assignment, High Leverage Practices. This case study looked at 3 HLPs in 2 settings, Dubai American Academy, grade 5 students, and First Point, year 1 students. The 3 HLPs that I will be focusing on today are HLP 11, talking about a student with parents or other caregivers, HLP 15, checking student understanding during and at the conclusion of lessons, and lastly, HLP 18, providing oral and written feedback to students. Let's take a look at HLP 11. Why is it important? Schools focus on building positive relationships with parents, improving the quality of communication, reporting to parents on progress, and mechanisms for helping parents to support their children's learning. Parents are the first educators the child has, and they develop a foundation for learning. Family engagement improves student achievement, increases confidence, and motivates the student to learn. Talking about a student with parents or other caregivers is an important component of the education system. In my placement at Dubai American Academy, parents are informed about upcoming events, what the students are learning in each lesson, and pictures of the students during the week. The weekly newsletter that is posted on the right is on a platform called Seesaw, in which the parents have the option to like and comment on the post. Parents can ask questions, respond to other parent inquiries, and stay involved. In Seesaw, the students can also see the involvement of all the parents, which motivates them to be actively involved. To implement this HLP in my placement, I have used virtual communication with parents, parent-teacher conferences, and student interaction with the teacher. This is an example of an assessment by grade 5 student. After sending home this assessment, the parent and the teacher came up with a plan to help the student grow in their learning. Every assessment, the parent would review the questions with the student and clarify any misconception the student might have. After reviewing the assessment, the parent would sign the assignment and send it back to the teacher. From my observation, I saw a change in the attitude of the student. The student was much more confident and would participate in class discussion. Another observation I saw was an increase in her self-esteem and motivation. Based on my observation and interaction with grade 5 students at DAA, students who are active learners and taking responsibility of their learning were the ones with good family support. Vygotsky believed that the community and culture dynamics largely influences children's learning and development. Vygotsky also emphasized that crucial learning by the child happens through social interaction, indicating the need for an involved community family. I believe parental engagement has a positive impact on the progress of a student academically and socially. When parents are involved in their children's learning, the child's mind sees a connection between the school and home, thus having a positive influence in the education over time. This HLP relates to the UAE Standard 1.3, Advocate with colleagues and parents for the best interest of learners, and UAE 1.5, Engage parents as partners in their children's learning. Next HLP I focused on is HLP 15, Checking Student Understanding during and at the conclusion of lessons. Checking for student understanding is a part of formative assessment. It is an ongoing process. It links teaching and learning and should be incorporated in your lessons. By checking for understanding, it helps us to identify any misconceptions. Assessment must be used as a continuation of the teaching-learning process, involving pupils wherever possible, as well as teachers in identifying next steps. To check for student understanding, I used these strategies: whiteboards, exit slips, hand signals, questioning, think, pair, share, and quizzes. Let's look at how these strategies were implemented in my placement. The first strategy, exit slips. The use of exit slips at the end of the lessons gave me an informal measure of how well the students understood the lesson. In this case, the students had to underline the sound they learned in the phonics lesson. Next strategy that I have used in my teaching is hand signals. This provides me with a quick visual check to see if we are ready to move on. Think, pair, share technique provides an opportunity for students to share their ideas with their classmates and build social communication skills. I strategically use this method to walk around and see the students thinking and sharing their perspectives. Questioning. Effective questioning focuses on eliciting the process, how and why, in a student's response, as opposed to what. By questioning as a teacher, you can informally measure the thinking process of the student on a particular topic. For example, the lesson was on measurements, and during this lesson I started by showing an image of a book. I asked, "How do you think we can measure this book? Think and discuss with someone next to you." The student responded by saying, "We can measure this by a ruler." I asked, "How are you going to do that? And what other materials can we use to measure?" By doing this, I was able to assess where the students are in their learning and was able to modify the lesson by the response from the students. Next, quiz. In order to assess the understanding at the end of a lesson, I have used Kahoot, which is an online platform that allows the teacher to make up questions for the students to answer. Kahoot measures the understanding of students, as well as making it interactive game-based platform. Lastly, whiteboards. This is an effective strategy during a lesson because it allows you to scan quickly to see that the students are working on the question and writing down the answer. In this example, you can see the teacher is modeling on the board the first example. Then, she's asking the students to work on the rest and write down the answers on the whiteboard and hold it up so she can see it. Then the teacher is able to pull out students who are unable to grasp the concept and work with them during independent practice. Checking for understanding is an ongoing assessment in which teachers identify learning objectives, give feedback, and plan lessons based on students' misconceptions. During my observation, checking for student understanding played an important role because as a teacher, you can see where the learner is, where the learner is going, and how can we help them get there. When checking for understanding throughout the lesson, they have time to take action and make changes in instruction if needed. In my placement, by checking for understanding, I was able to distinguish who is ready for the next step and who needs more input. Using these strategies to check for understanding have helped me as a graduate trainee to measure growth, create differentiation opportunities, and create future lessons based on the results. This HLP relates to the UE Standard 3.3, Ongoing Formative Assessment to Measure Progress. The last HLP I focused on was HLP 18, Providing Oral and Written Feedback to Students. Feedback is designed to bring an improvement in the learner's performance and achievement. It can be verbal or written, but it needs to provide the learner with specific clarity on how to move forward. Feedback is not only criticism. It is about praise, constructive criticism, and an opportunity for growth. According to Haiti and Temperley, effective feedback answers 3 key questions. Where am I going? How am I going? And where to next? The student is using the cubes to help him identify 1/4 of 12. During guided practice, I had used the hand signal strategy to check for understanding, and the student represented a somewhat signal. Using this knowledge, during independent practice, I provided him with verbal feedback by saying, "Since you already know what 1/4 is, let's try using the cubes to help you visually see what 1/4 of 12 is." I left him and I was walking around to view other students. When I returned to the student, he was able to show me 1/4 of 12, and I asked him to show 1/4 of 16, and he was able to complete the task. From my observation, the student was able to use the feedback provided immediately. I was able to challenge his thinking, and if I had waited to give him feedback at a later time, he would have not been able to use it for his improvement. Let's look at two different examples. The first objective is to order numbers from greatest to the smallest. The feedback provided is well done for ordering your numbers from the greatest to the smallest. The second objective is to discuss the significance of the key events in the story. The feedback by the teacher says, "An excellent story map with all the key events highlighted." In both of these scenarios, feedback is provided related to the learning objectives. By doing this, students understand the purpose of the work that they are asked to do. Appraised feedback enforces that they are on the right path. Feedback should be given in a timely manner, and it should be constructive and provide guidance to improve their performance. In my classroom, I prefer verbal feedback because it allows me to give immediate feedback, as well as adapt a suitable teaching strategy to help improve any misconceptions that the student might have. Feedback cannot just be good job. It needs to ensure what exactly they did well and what they need to improve on and how to do it. I believe feedback is a bridge between teaching and learning. This HLP relates to UAE Standard 3.3, use assessment information to provide ongoing diagnostic feedback, written and oral, to help learners make progress.